Hello everyone, welcome to video lecture series of Design of Steel Structures. Myself Sudhir B. Gaike, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. So in the previous video we have seen design of built-up columns using lacing as a system, and we have designed a two-channel section back to back. In this current video we are going to see design of battened column using again channel section placed back to back. So the statement for the numerical I will mention in the description box. Here I am directly mentioning the given data for the numerical. So step number 1 for the current numerical is given data, and the given data is mentioned as your axial compressive factored load acting on the section is 1100 kilonewton. Grade of steel is 410 MPa. Yield strength of your steel is 250 MPa. Ultimate strength of bolt is 400 MPa. This is as per 4.6 grade of bolts. Length of the column is 9000 mm, that is nothing but 9 meters, with conditions given is both ends are hinged conditions. Then partial safety factor gamma m0, gamma mb and gamma m1, and again they are asking to adapt two channel sections placed back to back. So usually in the statement these particular details are given. Same details I have taken from statement and derived this given data. So what we have to do, we have to initially design a compression member consisting of two channel sections placed back to back, and as these two channel sections are placed or are individual elements, these elements are to be connected with the help of battened as a plates. So same problem or same type of problem we have solved in previous video, only at that time we have adapted lacing system for connection. Here we are adapting battening system for your connection. So as per the given data, initially step number 1 now, that is design of column. So usually for built up sections we are designing column by assuming maximum compressive strength or design compressive strength FCD value, and usually for double sections or built up sections we are assuming that value in the range of 120 to 150 MPa. So for this numerical, suppose I am adapting your FCD value, that is design compressive stress, as 150 MPa, and we are having design compressive strength formula PD equals to area effective into FCD. Using the value of given loading 1100 kilonewton and assumed FCD value, you can calculate the area required. So area required will be load divided by your assumed FCD value. So we are getting value 7334 mm square, 7334 mm square is the value. Now after this particular step, we are selecting a section from steel table so as to meet the requirement of this calculated area, correct? So area is 7334, almost is equal to 8000 mm square. And again this area is to be divided by two value as you are going to select double channel section. So on an average area of single channel should be near about 4000 mm square. Therefore based on that condition I am adapting or I am considering ISMC 300 at the rate 351.2 Newton per meter having properties. So area 4564. So considering both the areas, that will be equal to near about 9000 mm square, which is greater than your requirement, correct? So likewise all these details have least radius of gyration along z side, along y side, moment of inertia along z side, y side. Again the cross sectional details, width of flange, thickness of web, all values I have taken from your steel table or IS 808. Now after selecting a section, next step is to determine the design compressive strength of your selected section. For that you need to calculate always PD is calculated using area effective and multiplying with your design compressive stress FCD, and for design compressive stress FCD you are requiring slenderness ratio. Slenderness ratio is given by your effective length to radius of gyration, correct? Now again in the previous video also we have seen, while calculating your KL by R value or slenderness ratio, initially we are considering the two radius of gyration, RZ value and RY value. But this RY depends upon the spacing between section, that is radius of gyration about vertical y axis depends upon the spacing between the two channel sections. If that spacing is going to increase, your value of RY, that is radius of gyration along y side, is going to change. So as in this particular step number first we are unknown with the spacing between channel section, we are assuming that your slenderness ratio is calculated for larger radius of gyration. So KL by R value I will be considering KL divided by RZ, considering 118.1, correct, and I am getting value of 76.20. Now in case of your battened column, for shear deformations you are going to reduce or you are going to consider greater value for slenderness ratio, and you are multiplying with the factor 1.10. This factor 1.10 is as per clause number 7.7.1.4, that is shear deformation effect. As we are increasing the slenderness ratio, means we are decreasing the compressive stress value, that is FCD value. So that value will be equal to 1.1 into calculated value, that is lambda equivalent 76.20 into 1.1. I am getting 83.82. Correct? So 83.82 is your slenderness ratio, and by considering buckling class C, so I am referring table 9C and yield strength value 250, calculating FCD value. Correct? So from that table 9C, we are calculating the value of FCD with the help of interpolation, as our value is ranging between 80 to 90. So performing interpolation, we are getting FCD value equals to 130.27. Correct? Now last step, your design compressive strength is what? Area effective into FCD. So area effective is twice the calculated area or assumed area. So your area is 4564. It is to be multiplied with 2 because 2 channel sections we are adapting. So it will be 9128. So 9128 multiplied by calculated FCD, you are getting the design compressive strength, and that is equal to 1189. So near about 1189 kilonewton value, which is greater than your given force 1100 kilonewton. So given or adapted section is capable to take design compressive load of 1100 kilonewton. So first step is completed here. Hereafter we are going with design of your batten system. So in that, spacing between the channel sections. So already we have seen clause number 7611, that is 7.6.1.1, that your radius of gyration or moment of inertia for axis perpendicular to plane of lacing or battening should be at least equal to the axis parallel to plane of lacing. So in short, moment of inertia about both the axes, that is x axis and y axis, or z axis and y axis, should be equal. So therefore I am equating 2 times moment of inertia along z side should be equal to moment of inertia along y side. So already this same step we have performed in the previous video also, and we are getting spacing is equal to 183.10 mm. So I will round figure that value to 185 mm for this numerical. So here now my value between the spacings of channel is defined, and that is equal to 185 mm. Now in next step, design of your battens. Now as per your clause number 7.3.3, initially you need to calculate spacing between your batten system. Correct? So suppose this is first batten and this is second batten. Exactly what is the distance between center to center distance between two battens, that is to be calculated. And according to clause 7.3.3, spacing is given as, so the slenderness ratio for spacing, that is C by Ry value, where Ry is least radius of gyration for individual section. That is Ry of your channel section. Ry of channel section is given here 26.1. So that ratio, spacing by least radius of gyration for individual sections, should be always less than 0.7 times of your slenderness ratio or effective slenderness ratio. Correct? So I will equate it. So spacing equals to 0.7 into slenderness ratio multiplied by Ry value. I am getting near about 1531 mm. Similarly, one more criteria is given in 733, that your slenderness ratio C by R for selected spacing should be less than 50 mm always. So these adapted spacing by radius of gyration of individual section, minimum radius of gyration of individual section should be less than 50 value. So I am getting spacing is equal to radius of gyration multiplied by 50 value, that is 1305. So now in order to keep this ratio less than 50, you have to reduce the spacing. So I am selecting value as 1300 mm. That is spacing between two individual or center to center distance between two individual batten system. I am assuming equals to 1300. Now 1300 by your least radius of gyration of individual section is coming near about equal to 49.80, which is less than 50. Therefore our condition is satisfied. Now here I have assumed spacing between your batten system as your 1300 value. Correct? Now spacing is equal to 185. And here this particular distance is your distance considering your gauge distance. Correct? So gauge distance is equal to, or in short, it is center to center of your rivet line, and always that value is equal to spacing plus 2 times gauge distance. Now gauge distance we are taking from steel table, and that is equal to suppose 50 value. Now this distance between rivet line or center to center of rivet line I am getting equals to 285 mm. That is 185 spacing plus 50 and plus 50 from either sides. That is equal to 285 value. Now after defining spacing for your batten system. Next step is for connection details. We are adapting diameter of your bolt as 20 mm. Diameter of bolt we are adapting as 20 mm. So from this you can define what is diameter of hole, that is 22 mm. Edge distance is 1.5 times of diameter of hole, so that will be 33. We are round figuring it to 35. 33 we are round figuring it to 35 value. Now based on this adapted connection details, we are going to define the sizes of your batten. So sizes of battens are nothing but depth of your batten, width or length of batten, and thickness of batten. These three dimensions we are going to define. And again your battens are classified into two categories. It will be end batten and intermediate battens, correct? So the basic difference between your lacing and battening system is, for lacing connecting system these are your inclined members, correct? And in case of batten system these are your horizontal plate elements. This may be subjected to certain movement also. So bending stress calculation or moment calculation also we are going to do in case of batten system. In case of your lacing system we are only checking it for compressive force and applied tension force. Here we are going for bending strength check also in case of your batten system. So defining the dimensions of end batten according to clause 7723, your depth of end batten should be your spacing plus 2 times CYY value. Spacing is 185 and 2 times CYY, that is 23.6. So CYY value is written here 23.6 from given data. So we are getting value 232.2 mm, correct? And calculating your overall depth, that is by considering your edge distance from both the sides, we are getting calculated value plus 2 times of your edge distance. We are adapting edge distance of 35. So I am getting value near about 302.2, which I will round figure to 320 mm. Now my depth of end batten is defined and that is equal to 320 mm. Now based on that only I am going to calculate the thickness. So thickness is given as 1 by 50 of your distance between your bolt rivet line. That is what already we have calculated. It is spacing plus 2 times gauge distance, and that is equal to 285. So 1 by 50 of 285 I am getting 5.7, which I will round figure it to 6 mm. So the second dimension for batten after depth is thickness, and that is equal to 6 mm. Now the last third, that is nothing but length of batten, and length of batten is nothing but directly from figure you can understand it should be your spacing plus 2 times width of flange. So this particular value is width of flange, this is width of flange plus spacing between your channel sections. So ultimately total or overall width of your column is nothing but it is equal to length of your batten plate. Now that will be equal to 365 mm, and that is going to remain same for your intermediate as well as end batten. So here the three dimensions for end batten, here I have written end batten, is defined, and that is 365 as length value, depth is equal to 320 and thickness is 6 mm. Now based on this similar line only you need to define the values for intermediate batten, correct? So at the starting of column there will be end batten, and at the end or at the top portion it will be one end batten. All interior are called as your intermediate batten. So defining the sizes of intermediate batten, that is dimensions of intermediate batten, I am writing D effective now as per this step only. That D effective is what? 3/4 of your calculated value. So 3 by 4, that is 0.7 times of 3, 232.2, I am getting 174.85. Similarly again go for overall depth, which is again calculated plus 2 times your edge distance. So finally I am deriving as 260 mm. So the depth for intermediate is 260 and for end batten it is equal to 320. So likewise size variation is there in case of your batten sizes for a depth dimension. In case of now thickness, we are going to keep same thickness 150 of distance, that is equal to 6 mm, and again length will also be same, that is equal to 365. So again defining the size of your intermediate batten, only there is change in the depth value. You can observe the values 365 is same for both the battens. Now depth here it is, for end it is 320, for intermediate it is 260, again thickness is same 6 mm 6 mm. So likewise your batten sizes are fixed, correct? Now next step is design of your shear force. Now design shear force acting on your batten is 2.5% of your acting force, axial force 1100 kilonewton. So that value is equal to, so design shear force is equal to 7.7.2.1. I am getting Vt is equal to 2.5 times of your total axial force Pu, and that is equal to 27.50 kilonewton. Now as these battens are somewhat subjected to shear force and movement, I am calculating that forces based on the number of planes of your batten. Now usually here in case of your channel section placed back to back, number of your panels are only 2. That is the planes on which your battens are kept. So here number of planes are only 2. In some cases, for example, you consider an example of 4 angle section. So I will show that here. Suppose likewise combination of 4 angle section is there on which your batten system is provided. So in this particular cases, your number of planes are going to be 4. So here number of planes for channel sections are only 2, correct? So for that cases we are calculating your longitudinal shear VB value, and VB is given as your calculated shear force into spacing divided by N into S value. Now this N is nothing but number of planes. Number of planes for channel sections are 2. In case of 4 angle section it is going to be 4. So that value N multiplied by spacing. So this spacing plus 2 times gauge distance we are assuming 285, already that we have defined. So I am getting 62.71 kilonewton, that is the shear force. Now moment acting is again your design shear force into spacing divided by 2 times N. N is number of planes. N of number of planes are again 2. So I am getting bending moment as 398937.5 into 10 raised to 3 Newton mm. So for these two particular values, I need to satisfy whether my batten system is capable to carry the given design shear stress and bending moment. Correct? Now here, check for strength of battens. Check for shear strength or strength of batten. So initially shear stress acting in your batten. Shear stress is given as shear force divided by shear area. Correct? So shear force is what? Shear force is given as your calculated value 62.71 into 10 raised to 3 divided by shear area is nothing but depth into thickness. So 2 thicknesses and 2 depths we are knowing. So 6 mm is the thickness of batten plate and depths are 2 different. First value is 320 and second value is 260. So as your area is at denominator, that is 260 into 6, for lesser value I am going to calculate the stress. If it is going to satisfy for lesser value, that is 260 into 6, ultimately it is going to satisfy for this 320 into 6 also. So purposefully you try to give this particular check for intermediate battens only, as intermediate battens will be having lesser sizes. If your check is going to satisfy for lesser one, it is going to satisfy for higher also, as your denominator will increase and stress is going to be lesser. So shear stress is equal to force divided by area, and that value is 40.19, which should be less than Fy divided by root of 3 into gamma m0. So this is maximum shear stress in the member. Fy divided by root of 3 into gamma m0, which is 131.2 MPa. Our value is within the range, that is 14.19. So it is safe for shear stress for intermediate as well as your end batten. Similarly, go for bending stress calculations. Now bending stress formula directly I have written, that is 6 into movement divided by T into D square. So we are having regular equation, sigma is equals to, that value is moment into y divided by moment of inertia. I by y is equal to sigma by y. Using that relation we have defined bending stress as 6 multiplied by moment divided by T into D square, considering thickness and depth value. So T into D cube by 12. So I am getting that value as 132.21 MPa, that is bending stress value, and that should be less than Fy divided by gamma m0, maximum bending stress allowed in the member. So that is equal to 227. So it is safe for your end as well as intermediate batten. So likewise both the checks are to be given for your examination also. Check for shear stress and check for bending stress in case of your batten, and try to give this check for intermediate battens only. If it is going to satisfy for intermediate batten, it is compulsorily going to satisfy for your end battens also. Now in next step, there are number of battens to be calculated. So number of battens we are going to calculate total depth of your column divided by spacing. So total depth of column is 9000 divided by spacing is 1300. So I am getting plus 1 value. So 6.92 plus 1 is nothing but 8 number of battens. So in total depth of column or total height of column, total number of battens are going to be 8 value. So out of 8, batten number 1 at the bottom and batten number 8 are your end battens, and within these two particular battens all other battens are your intermediate batten. So suppose we'll name the battens as batten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 8 battens will be there. So batten 1 and batten 8 are end battens, and batten number 2 to 7 are your intermediate batten. Correct? Now next step after this is your design of connections. So already there we have seen many number of numericals on design of connection. Here your connection is going to be between your flange and your plate of batten, that is end or intermediate. Correct? So there is a number of plates connecting are 2. So your shearing planes are going to be only one. So you need to go for VDSB value, design bearing strength of bolt, and design shearing strength of bolt. You need to calculate the minimum value, that is nothing but bolt value, and your acting force, that is shear force, 62.71. So force divided by bolt value is nothing but number of bolt. Here again, based on the dimensions of plate, that is end batten or intermediate batten, you have to again see the maximum pitch distance and edge distance, whether that is satisfying as per given specifications of your IS 800, correct? So that design of connection part I have not done here, that you carry out depending upon the number of problems we have solved here. So here at the last, our summary of design should be spacing, that is your C value, and as we have changed the number of batten, there will be revision in spacing value. So that I am calculating revised spacing equals to 9000 divided by number of battens minus 1, correct? So that is 8 are the number of battens, minus 1 is nothing but 1285. So in short, as you have reduced the spacing between the battens, your strength of column or compressive strength of column is going to increase. So at the last, summary is nothing but your spacing revised is 1285, and sizes of your battens are 365, 320 by 6, and for intermediate it is 365 by 260 into 6, connected with M20 bolts. So for given pitch distance and edge distance of 35. So here the numerical is completed. For this particular or all types of numerical, I am going to also provide the photograph in your system. You can refer all the design steps from that also. And the statement for the given problem I will mention in description box. So here the numerical is completed. This numerical is required for your term work file also, as well as for your end semester exam. This numerical may be asked for 8 mark or 10 marks. So thank you very much. In the next videos, we are going to start with unit number 3. So thank you very much.